Hi, my name's Ro and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to have a quick chat about study pathways in psychology because I've been getting quite a few comments about that. Thank you everyone who has commented, by the way. It's still kind of giving me a bit of a buzz every time I see a comment. I'm like, oh my god, someone's actually watching this video. But yeah, I've got quite a few comments on what are the pathways, how to become a psychologist because you're interested in studying as well. I was going to wait for like the perfect time to do it where I had like a nice setup and I had lots of time to film. Today's a bit of a busy day, but I was thinking why not just show you like a behind the scenes for like an admin report writing day in a psychologist, and in the middle of it I'll also chuck in what the study pathways are, and we'll do that really quickly as well. So if you're here just to watch the bit about the study pathways, feel free to skip ahead. I'll probably do a timestamp for it, but otherwise this is a Tuesday and this is my normal like report admin day as a psychologist, and so in the morning I usually try and get kind of some self-care and just some like chores and stuff done around the house. I'm visiting the research office where I work today. There's a staff picnic. I also have supervision this afternoon, and I will also be writing up a couple of GP letters that I need to send out. And in Australia, when people go and visit a psychologist, the psychologist and the GP are always interacting to let each other know like where the treatment has gotten up to and how many sessions we need. So I am a little bit behind on some of my admin and I need to write some letters today as well. I will take you along for most of it. Okay, check in soon. Bye. Gosh, I feel like my breakfast options are always so similar. This is a banana. I've also got some mulberries and I'm gonna try and make a protein shake. Purple colour. Oh, don't you just love it when it just reaches the top of your cup? Well, that's good. Pat back. Hello, welcome back. It's 9:30 now and I'm gonna start writing some GP letters. Just sat down with my smoothie. So basically after the second session where you meet the child and after the sixth session where you've done a block of treatment, you have to write letters to the GP to ask them to give you more sessions under the mental health care plan. So the plan basically means that when you go see a psychologist you get part of the money reimbursed, and so it's really helpful for a lot of clients because psychology sessions are expensive. So I just need to write to a couple of GPs and pediatricians just to let them know I've completed a block of sessions and I think we require a few more, or just to let them know I've met this family that you referred to me and this is what my plan is for them. So that's probably going to be like my next hour or so. Oh, I probably look the exact same as when I checked in like an hour and a half ago. But I have written like 6 GP letters. I don't know why they're so exhausting. Literally all you do is like talk about the therapy you did and what has improved, or what needs further work. But oh, I feel like the life has been drained out of me. It's 11:30 now and in about 15 minutes I'm going to start driving to NDARC, which is the research, what's it called? The research centre where I work, for like a little staff picnic because our supervisor has come back from Tassie. Outfit of the day. I basically just chucked on a pair of jeans on top of what is basically a PJ shirt. And I'm gonna head off to NDARC now. It's about a 40-ish minute drive, but I might pick up some food on the way to share with everyone. So I'm gonna head out now. Oh my god, so random. I submitted an application to move out of home literally yesterday. Like I found the place yesterday morning. We've been searching for about a couple of weeks now. Found the place yesterday morning. We went in for the inspection yesterday lunchtime. We submitted an application yesterday afternoon, and this morning they said we'd been accepted. So we're moving out in a month. Oh my god, what a big day.
So I currently live in the Shire, which is like really close to the beaches and Cronulla, and like, gosh, it's so lovely. However, it's really far away from like the city and just like most other people. A lot of dance I don't do because I'm like, oh, it's such a trek. So we also wanted just to move out for like a change because we're both working from home quite a lot. And me with YouTube and wanting to develop more videos and stuff, like having a dedicated filming day and also like having a space that I can fully create as my own, because currently I live at home, which is like so nice, like my parents' house is so lovely, but yeah, like there are people walking around and leaf blowers in the background, and yeah, it's just nice to, I think, have a bit more control over my space. So it's so weird that I'm sharing this with you guys. Like I think I just started my channel, and now big life things like moving out. Gosh, okay. That's all. Just wanted to say that.
Hiya! So I just got back from NDARC and we just had a really cute like picnic outside. I think I'll touch a photo of what we did. But yeah, I didn't film it because I'm not like, I haven't been with the team that long, so it felt a bit awkward to start filming everything. Now it's 2:30, I'm about to hop onto Supervision, and Supervision happens once a week for an hour. All psychologists in training need to have a supervisor in order to fulfill all the requirements. And basically my agenda for her today is one client in particular who's a little bit tough, and one psychometric assessment that's coming up, which is basically like I guess you would call it like IQ testing, trying to figure out if there's any learning disabilities for a child as well. And then after that I'm going to try and get some more work done to write up some final assessment summaries. Alrighty. Oh, actually, and then sometime today I have to figure out when to talk about study pathways. Done with Supervision. My supervisor's the best. She's so like validating, and every time we talk about a difficult situation, she's always got like an experience up her sleeve that she's gone through before as well. So I always feel like lighter after supervision sessions. Sorry, I'm eating a strepsil, which is why I sound so weird. I wanted to talk about study pathways. Sorry. Okay, basically, I'm gonna sit actually on the side of the screen and pop up the study pathways here because there's a little diagram that everyone can follow. So firstly, this is the Australian pathways, and it might not be the same overseas. If you are an international student coming to Australia, I would recommend calling or emailing the particular uni you want to go to and asking them about transfer requirements, because I know every year is different. When I went on exchange to America, certain courses that I thought would transfer didn't transfer, so definitely check that before you come over here and you just apply. There's 5 different pathways to become a psychologist. So every single person needs to do a 3-year undergrad. That is either a Bachelor of Psychology, a Bachelor of Science with a major in psychology, or a grad dip in psychology. There's also a Bachelor of Psychological Sciences, and so at every uni there's going to be some kind of undergraduate psychology degree. Step 2, which is the next level, is you must do a 4th year, and that is your honours degree, which is the research year. You need to get a certain mark. Usually it's like you need to have around the 75 and above. It's a distinction average. However, there are always exceptions to that. I know people who had like a credit average and they still got in, which is like a 65 and above. Sometimes this is when people start to transition out. You have several career pathways, such as becoming a researcher, such as working in organizations, in HR, in marketing, just working as like maybe a telephone counselor, working in mental health, in a way where maybe you're not doing therapy, but you work within an organization doing mental health reforms, programs with the community or the government. So that's kind of the step you go out to if you don't want to become a psychologist. If you do want to become a psychologist, there are a couple of types. So one is a general psychologist. A generalist is just someone who's trained in psychology, they can do therapy. And the other type is a psychologist with an endorsement. And so most people have heard of a clinical psychologist. I think there's actually 12 different pathways or 12 different endorsements: clinical neuropsychology, clinical psychology, community psychology, counseling psychology, educational and developmental psychology, forensic psychology, health psychology, organizational psychology, and sport and exercise psychology. So 10 different types of postgraduates. Maybe let's start with just becoming a general psychologist. The way to do that after your honours is to get into a 4+2. So you've done your 4 years of undergraduate and you need to do 2 years of a supervised placement. Basically, this is like you go to a particular clinic, you have someone become your supervisor, and for those 2 years you're working with clients in the community, you're getting paid for it, but your training comes from kind of shadowing this person at a clinic, like your supervisor. It is a bit tricky because you want to try and find a good supervisor in a good clinic, because that clinic is kind of going to determine your training and how good it is. And so there are some excellent 4+2s because there are some excellent clinics who provide great pathways, but I also have heard some horror stories of people finding clinics that just kind of wanted almost free labor. So it's important to find a good clinic for the 4+2. After that, you apply and become a general psychologist, and so you can start to practice by yourself. The other one to become a general psychologist is called the 5+1. So you do your 4 years with the honours, and then you do an additional 1 year of postgraduate. So this is like a mini master's. You might just go to a uni. I have a friend who did the 5+1 and he said it was awesome. They find all your placements in first year, and then by the time you get to second year to do your 1 year of supervised practice, you've already got connections with places that the 5+1, like the degree, has linked you up with. So I would probably recommend doing the 5+1 if you want to become a general psychologist. So that's the 2 pathways if you want to become a general psychologist. But if you want to become a clinical psychologist or a forensic psychologist or a sport and exercise psychologist where you want that endorsement, then there are 3 other pathways. So the first one that I would say most people do is do a postgraduate master's program. That's what I did. I applied for the University of Sydney and the clinical psychology master's program. Doing a master's program is a little bit competitive. Some of the unis are a bit more popular. You have to get a first class honours or higher, so kind of like a high first class honours that might be in the high 80s to like 90s in terms of your undergraduate average. After you've completed 2 years of masters at uni, which is a mixture of like placements and coursework, then you can start to practice. So I currently have my general registration because I did my masters, and I'm still doing another 2 years of supervised practice. Now the 2 years is not like at uni where you're just studying. I have actually found a job, like you guys can see in my other vlog, and I'm working and I'm getting paid. So you basically just do paid work. However, you need to get additional supervision. So you need to get 80 hours of supervision and you need 80 hours of additional training called CPD, continued professional development. And it basically means that you need to have this intense 2-year period of getting support from someone who's very experienced, and you need to continually train. And then once you've done that, then you can become a clinical psychologist. And so my journey from first year of psychology to getting my clinical title will have taken a total of 8 years. So that's option 1. Second option is to do a master's combined with a PhD. And so my best friend Wendy is doing one of these. It takes 4 years because you're doing a PhD part-time and you're doing the master's part-time, but they kind of work together. Usually it means your PhD has to be in some kind of clinical area to do with mental health, and afterwards you will graduate with a doctor title in front of your name, so that's a perk. And you'll have also graduated with a specialization in some area of research. Once you've done the combined program, you can do the same registrar program that I'm currently in. However, because you've been studying for so long, they reduced the hours. You only need 60 hours of supervision and 60 hours of additional training. And that extra bit at the end is only 1.5 years, whereas my additional bit at the end is 2 years. And the last pathway I'm going to kind of breeze over because I haven't heard very much about this pathway, and I know they're starting to phase this one out, and that's to get a professional doctorate degree, and then afterwards you do 1 year of supervised practice, and that has even fewer, it's like 40 supervision hours, 40 CPD. But yeah, I keep hearing from the community that that's starting to get phased out. And so what's coming in is they're going to start doing bridging programs, because a lot of psychologists are interested in getting a clinical endorsement or getting a forensic endorsement. They want to try and introduce a bridging program where once you're a generalist for a couple of years, you can just do a 1 year training thing, and that gives you the clinical title. So that hasn't been set yet, and it's not on the official study pathways, but that's slowly going to come into place over the next couple of years. So I might do an update video when that is officially released. There are quite a lot of pathways, and to be honest, I didn't know about any of these until probably the 3rd year, just before I applied for my honours. So don't worry if you haven't memorised the pathways, but just keep in your mind that if you want to become a general psychologist, you're probably going to do the 4+2 or the 5+1, and if you want to become an endorsed psychologist, you're probably going to have to do a master's. Any questions you have about study pathways, please let me know down in the comments. I'll try to reply to all of the comments. Cool, thanks, bye!